Hi there, welcome to Kneppy Invest and welcome to September 27, 2024. There's about 1 hour and 50 minutes left of trading today and this week. And the final day of the trading week has been okay. Okay, most of the indices are up apart from small caps. However, if you're heavily invested in mining, particularly iron ore companies, I suspect, you've had a pretty good day. Resol's up 2.51%. And I am assuming that it is iron ore that is leading the charge when it comes to mining because the Chinese markets are up pretty big today. I think a little bit more stimulus from the Chinese governments has helped that case. And I did have a look at the Alibaba chart, and the share price of that company has just taken off. I also had a look at the best performing companies on the ASX today, and there's definitely a bit of a Chinese tinge or theme there. And in fact, when I go through the top 5 stocks of the day, the number one stock of the day is not one stock, it's a group of stocks. Those companies that are or have a tie to China. And I do know that A2 Milk has gone into a trading halt. And one of the reasons they went into trading halt is because they did receive a price query from the ASX. And interesting enough, or coincidentally, there was also a comment about A2 Milk from a David Race. I'd assume here, another assumption, that David Race is an A2 Milk shareholder. So we'll have a look at this comment and have a look at A2 Milk and some other China-tied companies, or companies with China ties. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not complaining because I'm a shareholder in one of those companies. Also, a few other companies that released interesting announcements. Typically, a Friday is the most boring day of the week, and today, honestly, is no different. One of these companies is down a fair bit. In fact, I talked about this company yesterday. I'm a little bit surprised it did fall by this amount, by percentage change, but not surprised it has fallen. And before we have a look at the top 5 stocks today, I should mention we'll go through the best and worst performing sectors, indices, and also companies. And then we'll also have a look at some charts after we do the top 5 stocks of the day. And then, if I have time, I'll go through some of your comments. Now, so let's have a look at the ASX today. And I'm assuming, as we go to the sectors again, that materials, by far the best day, in fact, up 2.95%. And other than materials, it's been a fairly lackluster day. In fact, staples up a little bit, in IT relatively flat, but all the other sectors are down by almost 0.5% and more. So real estate down 0.49%. And healthcare down 0.89%. So if you didn't have mining on the ASX, we would have had a pretty negative day on the markets today. So it just shows you that being diversified, I'm not sure if I could say that Australia is a diversified market because we are overly reliant on mining and financial. So scrub that idea. We are not a diversified market. But I was going to say, if you had a diversified portfolio, quite a few mining companies, financials, that sort of thing, you've probably done okay today, particularly if you're heavily invested in iron ore. Okay, and look at the different indices. So resources up 2.5%, and the next best performing index is All Ords, only up 0.14%. Where's gold here? Gold, not as good as day as iron ore, up or down 0.33%. Banks down today as well. Okay, so in fact, let's have a look at the XTL, the ASX 20, flat. So I'm assuming the best performing companies in the ASX 20 are going to be BHP, Fortescue, and Rio Tinto. Don't know the order. Maybe one other company thrown in there as well. So I'm going to say 3 out of the 4 best performing companies on the ASX are iron ore companies, and I'm going to say the worst performing companies, CSL, maybe a few banks, and one other in there as well. And I'm going to say 8 up, 12 down. Oh, 7 up, 13 down. Oh, okay. So let's have a look at the best performing companies. There's Fortescue, Rio Tinto, and BHP. In fact, it's no question by far the 3 best performing companies. And yeah, nothing close because the 4th best performing company is REA Group, up 0.55%. So well below that of BHP. So absolutely brilliant day for iron ore. And it's interesting because I actually did have a look at the iron ore price and it hasn't moved, hasn't budged. So this is just based off expectations, I think, that the iron ore price will start to move. Here's the iron ore. It's not moving. Still, yeah, it's only risen 0.34%. I think this is the market maybe doing a bit of forward looking and expecting iron ore price to rally based off the Chinese stimulus. And if it doesn't rally, these companies will fall back down. Anyway, so let's go back to the ASX 20. And if we have a look at the worst performing companies here, Woodside. Oh, that makes sense because, yeah, oil is down. There was, oil slips of third session. That was released 3 hours ago. Dropped below or towards $67 a barrel. So it's not surprising to see Woodside at the top, although there is a viewer who mentions, or has mentioned a few times, Woodside is more gas than oil. And there's NAB, Westpac, ANZ, CSL. So not surprised that those companies are down by more than 1%. Where's CBA, the company or the bank that should be falling by way more? It's only down 0.919%. Interesting. I don't understand. CBA is by far the most, sure, it's the best quality of the banks, but it's by far the most overvalued. Anyway, let's move on to the best and worst performing companies on the ASX. We'll start with the top gainers. And when we look at this list by market cap, you've got to see a lot of Chinese tinged companies or companies that do have, I wouldn't say a stake in China, but do have, I wouldn't say a reliance on China, but they do business in China. We'll just say that. Anyway, so let's have a look at the top gainers by percentage change. And 4D Medical. Now, I mentioned today or Fridays tend to be quite boring when it comes to announcements. But 4D Medical did release an interesting announcement. Share price has rallied 47%, and it did make it into my top 5 stocks of the day at number 2. So let's move on to a few other companies. I'm pretty sure I did see an announcement from RTR, Rumble Resources. So let's have a look at this because I did not have a close look at this announcement, but obviously the market's liked it. And this announcement is Rumble welcomes new strategic investor. I sometimes can understand why this happens. The investing community sees this particular investor. I don't know who this is. It could be someone very famous. And if that does happen, then the market does get excited. But just because this investor is putting some money into this company doesn't mean the company is going to make it. Because all investors throughout history have made mistakes. Bain Resources Holdings, a company associated with a large Indian mining contractor, Bejar Mining and Infra Limited, to become a strategic shareholder in Rumble. I don't know anything about Bain Resources Holdings, but the market has liked it. Now let's have a look at the chart. What was the ticker code again? RTR. I was going to say RBR, but what's RBR? RBR Group. So RTR. Rumble Resources. Actually not a bad name. Yeah, well, what do I have to say anything about this chart? Chart has been it did look awful. I probably would say share price has been going sideways. Not probably, share price has been going sideways until today, since May. So we're talking about a 4-month period, share price consolidating, going sideways. That can be a good sign. And today, share price has rallied on pretty good volume. Best volume this company has seen since May. And we haven't seen any significant selling thus far. So this could be a good sign moving forward for Rumble Resources. I'm going to put this onto my high spec or high volume spec watch list. Let's move further down the list. Nothing else here. Going to have a quick look at Can Group. I can't remember this company releasing anything. No, they didn't. Okay. I just saw a higher volume there, but yeah, or higher turnover, but yeah, nothing. Nyrada, there's Nyrada, up 20.69%. This company did release something, and because of their announcement, I did include it into the top 5 stocks of the day at number 4. So we can talk about that company later in the video. So I'm very happy that Nyrada and 4D Medical are in this list because I thought the announcements were pretty good, and I'm not surprised to see the share price rally. Okay, so let's have, Carnaby Resources also released something, up 13%, but it's only up 13%. So let's move on to the list of the top gainers by market cap. I'm pretty certain we are going to see a bit of a Chinese theme here. And we can see that in the first 3 companies. Treasury Wine, Chinese themed. A2 Milk, Chinese themed. They're also going to Trading Halt. And I'll talk about A2 Milk when we get to the number 1 or the top stocks of the day. And A2 Milk will feature there. Mineral Resources, iron ore. That's it, iron ore. That rally in Mineral Resources is pretty extreme. Share price has increased from $30 to $48, in a fairly short period of time. Let's have a look at the chart for Min Resources. I'm not complaining as a shareholder. The only thing I'm complaining about is I was thinking of adding to my position when it got to 30. And this sometimes patience can be a hindrance because I was just seeing how far it might fall. And it was definitely oversold at that point. But I just did not expect this sort of rally in a short period of time. Now, it does not mean the share price is now moving into an uptrend because the shift in sentiment has been quite rapid. And again, we haven't seen the iron ore prices rally yet, or the commodity rally just yet. So I want to see that happening. And to be honest with you, the volume has been probably a little bit disappointing during this rally over the past 5 days. But again, share price has rallied. What's that? $18 over 30. So we're talking about almost a 60%, if not a 60%. Yeah, it would be 60%. Yeah, over 60% rally in the share price in a fairly short period of time. Anyway, that's how the share price dropped a lot, by the way. So definitely a Chinese theme in the top three. Other than that, Liontown Resources, a few, I noticed Novonix ran up. Hey, there's Novonix there. Yeah, up 12.7%. Liontown Resources, Southern Cross Gold. I don't remember this company releasing anything, but yeah, it was yesterday. That's right. Yeah, they released this particular announcement. Southern Cross Gold extends high-grade Apollo mineralization 100 meters down dip. Share price didn't really react to that, so this could be just noise. And what else do we have here? There's 4D Medical. EZZ Life Sciences up 10.37%. That definitely has a bit of a Chinese theme. And I'm pretty sure there's other companies in this list that have a relationship with China. I'm pretty sure Brockman Mining. I'm pretty sure. I had a very quick look at this company. Would have been quite a while ago. And one of the reasons I just moved on was because I can't remember why. And the share price is only up 7%. And it's only up 0.1 cents. Anyway, letter to shareholders. I want to see if it says anything here. Oh, this is the reason why. Yeah, because we had the that's the other reason. Just the the Asian. What do you call this? The kanji. Is it kanji? Kanji. Oh no, that's a Chinese. What's the other one called? Oh no, that is Chinese. That's Chinese. Well, the Chinese characters are called kanji in Japanese. Okay, I remember now. Yeah. Anyway, the other thing that turned me off this company was incorporated in Bermuda with limited liability. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on to back to the top gainers. Yeah, so definitely a bit of a Chinese theme here. And I'll quickly have a look at A2 Milk, have a look at their announcement, and then we'll also have a look at Treasury Wines and EZZ and Life Science and maybe one or two others whose charts might look interesting right now. Okay, so let's turn our attention to the worst performing companies. And I expect one company to be on this list, and that's Star Entertainment Group. And the share price should be down between 40 and 50%. And there it is, down 45.56%. The amount of the fall in Star Entertainment Group did surprise me. I definitely expected to fall. I was thinking maybe 30 cents, maybe a little bit below 30 cents, but no, 24.5 cents. And definitely the negative tint, the negativity, the negative trading update in their announcement they released yesterday did not help. Cleaner Power. I remember this company releasing something. Let's have a quick look. Obviously, it was not positive. Proposed issue of securities. Okay, let's move on. They did a capital raising, it seems like. We can just move on. I'm just going to have a quick look at the chart, though. Oh, hello, chart. That's not a bad-looking chart. Share price. Well, interesting trading today. Share price at one point today was 1.9. Now it's 1.3. So we have seen a lot of selling today. Lots of selling. I'm not sure why. Proposed issue of securities. That was not market price sensitive. So could be just a bit of profit taking. That's why the share price has fallen. Maybe now's a good time to think about buying some shares. A lot of buying lined up below the current share price and not a lot of sellers. So share price could go on a run back up to 1.9 cents. Buy the dip situation. Interesting. Anything else here? Nothing of note. Bezra Gold, they did release something, and it was definitely negative. What's the ticker code? BEZ, and had something to do with litigation. Someone's taking some sort of legal proceedings against the company. I had a very quick look at it, and of course, when something like this is released by a company, it just adds a bit of risk to the company, and the market doesn't like risk, or investors don't like risk. So it's understandable the share price has dropped, and this was a bit of a market darling maybe a year ago. I remember, see how good my memory is. Oh, no, well over a year ago, like 18 months ago, back in March, April, May of 2023. And I still remember the share price just going on a massive run. In fact, it went from about 4 cents to 44 cents in a fairly short period of time. And since then, I haven't looked at this company again. So, and you can probably say why I haven't looked at this company again, because share price has been drifting lower and all that excitement has died away. Bezra Gold. What else do we have on this list here? Nothing of much note. There's E-Road, but E-Road's up and down like a yo-yo and on fairly low turnover. Let's have a look by market cap. So we have West Gold Resources. It's a gold company, and there's Star Entertainment Group's Sky City Entertainment Group's fallen because, more than likely because of the negative trading update that Star Entertainment Group released, saying the headwinds the company is facing is continuing, or the deteriorating conditions has continued into the new financial year, and that's probably affected Sky City as well. Satire down, bit of profit taking there as well. Brain Chip, another company I haven't looked at recently. AMA Group, 5.8 cents is a very important level for that company. And nothing of note. Nothing else here. There's no theme. Rimfire and Vinyl Group I did talk about yesterday, but both down by about 5%. Okay, so let's get to the top 5 stocks of the day. And we'll start off with Star Entertainment Group. Why not? Why not? It was a top stock yesterday, but it did surprise me. The share price is down almost 50%. And this is just because, well, they've released their financials. That's important. They've got a new debt facility, but I still think one of the reasons why the share price is down a lot today is because of, actually can't see it here. There's the announcement that I looked at yesterday is not here. It was a market update, and the market update was really negative, talking about continued deteriorating conditions, and that would cause a bit of nervousness. And just the fact that the share price was in a halt for a while, that would cause a bit of nervousness too. Now, the question becomes, has it much to fall from here? I would expect that the maximum pessimism is now into the share price. I would be surprised the share price will drop any further below 20 cents, but I could be wrong, because maybe this or Star Entertainment Group is on the road to failure. There's that potential as well. And when you do have a look at the chart, it's an ugly looking chart. And this is the sort of chart you do see when companies finally go broke. But I'm not going to say Star Entertainment Group is going to go that way. What? If they don't go broke, you could definitely say this is a great time to buy. Anyway, so sometimes when you do see a negative announcement like this, share price drops 50%. That is the bottom. Not always, but that is the bottom. A lot of volume. Now, I did have a quick, during the day, I did have a quick look. And by the way, I did buy some more shares because the share price fell way more than I expected, and I would be surprised to see a bounce. But I would not recommend that sort of thing, because I took that position, or added to my position, on the belief that there will, maybe not belief, on the strategy that eventually there will be a bounce, as all the shareholders who want to sell get out. And finally, you might see some value investors say, hey, there's a bit of value in this company at these levels. Now, I'm just going to show you the 1 minute chart. So there was a lot of selling within the first 15 minutes. So the bottom of the share price was reached about 10:20 a.m. Share price actually went from about 30 cents down to 20 cents in a fairly short period of time in that first 20 minutes of trading, and a pretty big volume as well in that first 20 minutes. And the volume really dried up. So I think anyone who wanted to sell out has sold out. Now, we did get a bit of a rally. Share price went from 20 cents back up to about 26 cents. The share price has been going sideways since then. So this could go either way. This could keep going up, or we might see share price keep on drifting lower, which would be the worst case scenario in my opinion. But there is a chance, and when I say chance, there is a possibility the share price might rally from here. Anyway, but it was just the negative outlook or the trading update the company gave, which paused me from. It gave me pause anyway. It did give me pause when I was thinking of adding to my position, but in the end, the risk-taking side of me took charge. About 10 years ago, it would have completely took charge, but today I held back a little bit. Okay, so that's Star Entertainment Group. Coming in number 5. 4, we have Nyrada. This is a company, definitely no revenue, pretty sure no revenue. What do you call this? It's sort of like a health company doing tests in regards to brain injuries. And the reason I say that is because they released an announcement today titled Brain Injury Program GLP Studies Further Update. For some reason, I also have this memory of this company doing stuff with Alzheimer's. Just going to have a quick look at their About section. Not sure if that's true. Oh, no, it was cholesterol. It was cholesterol, not Alzheimer's. It was cholesterol, yeah. So they're trying to treat or do stuff with brain injury, traumatic brain injury and stroke, and cholesterol-lowering drugs. Incorporated in the state of Delaware, US. There you go. You know that until right now. Anyway, onto this particular announcement. This was in regards to dog tests for their brain injury drug candidate NYR BI 103. And the study was good. Study on good, and company remains on track to commence first in-human phase 1 clinical trial. So still a long way to go for this company before they get this particular drug into commercialization. Could be 10 years from now. I don't know. Anyway, this was a successful bit of a study on some dogs. And they also mentioned here, I like this one. This is a key milestone as dogs being a higher order species compared to rats, not compared to humans, compared to rats, although there are some people who would say dogs are a higher order species than humans, and I couldn't disagree with them. Anyway, dogs have a physiological system closely resembling those of humans. Okay, I'll just have to believe them with that. This includes their ability to metabolize certain compounds in a manner similar to humans, making them highly relevant in preclinical safety studies. There you go. So no dogs were harmed, I believe. Maybe some rats were harmed, but no dogs were harmed. Anyway, so the market liked it. So let's have a look at the chart for Nyrada. Is it looking interesting? We don't have a look at the 1-minute chart. We'll have a look at the daily chart. Oh, I do. In the back of my mind, I do remember that day on the 28th of February when the share price rallied 421%. And you can just see there was a little bit of excitement in the company that did continue for about a month after that. And then the excitement drifted lower and the share price, excitement and share price drifted lower. You see that a lot with these type of companies. The best thing these companies could do is release really good announcements every few months. More than likely, that would never happen. But again, a little bit of excitement today. And would I say this is a breakout? Not necessarily so. And the main reason behind that is there's still a long road for this company to go down. And this is just a step in the right direction. But it's not the sort of trigger, the sort of catalyst I would need for me to take a position in the company. A longer-term position. Maybe a trading position, but not a longer-term position. I need this company to be a bit further down that road. Maybe a phase 3 successful trial, that sort of thing. Okay, so that's Nyrada coming in at number 4. Good day for this company, up 29.31%. So obviously, shareholders are not complaining unless they bought at about 16 cents back in February. Then they've probably been complaining for the last 6 months. Okay, so coming in at number 3, we have Endeavour Group. And possibly this doesn't belong, but it's a bigger company, and most of the other companies I'm talking about, apart from number 1, are small companies. So I thought I'd just include Endeavour. Put it number 3 because share price is down 3%, and CEO is stepping down. Steve Donoghue has decided to step down. This could be a move in the right direction. A lot of times you can sort of get a gauge on what the market thinks of the CEO when they resign or step down. And with the share price decreasing, this tells me the market actually likes Steve Donoghue. If you saw the share price rally 10%, that would tell me that the market doesn't like the CEO, and this is a step in the right direction for the company, but share price is down 3%. So the market's a little bit more wary now. What kind of CEO is going to come in after Steve Donoghue? Is the CEO going to be as good? Is it going to be worse? So increased risk. And again, the market doesn't like increased risk. Anyway, so he's just stepping down straight away. 30 years with the business, including more than 6 years as CEO and following a successful demerger of Endeavour. So I would assume he's retiring. And we all have to retire. Well, that's actually not true. Some of us die before we retire, and some of us just keep on working and working and working. Does it say here what he's going to do? Okay, so he's going to remain in his position as CEO while the process is undertaken to assist in an orderly transition. So we don't know who the new CEO is. That's actually a good thing. If he leaves this role immediately and there's an interim CEO, that would probably be a little bit more of a negative sign. Anyway, let's have a look at the chart for Endeavour. I was paying a little bit more attention to this company not that long ago because it looked like the share price was trying to turn up, trying to move into an uptrend. And you can just see it here back in late July, early August. I was thinking, ooh, this is starting to look interesting, but it failed when they released their results. Sometimes I will get in a little bit early. In this case, I just decided to wait till the results are released. And the reason I do that, I might miss any sort of rally when they do release results, but also protects me if the results disappoint. And that's obviously what happened with Endeavour Group. They released the results, share price fell 7% on that day, and the share price has kept on falling since then. There is a bit of a support level though, sort of in this zone here. When the share price gets to about 480, looks like that could be a sort of a support zone for Endeavour Group. Not my favorite type of company, but I do know quite a few investors do like Endeavour Group, these sort of companies. Would we call Endeavour Group defensive? I think we could. Is there a link? I don't know this. Is there a link between alcohol? I would assume people drink more alcohol in tougher times. I'm making an assumption there, but I could be completely wrong. Anyway, so Endeavour Group coming in number 3 in the top 5 stocks of the day. Coming in number 2, we have 4D Medical, the star performer on the ASX today. In fact, the ASX and 4D Medical both have X in their symbols. ASX, 40X. Oh, that's something exciting. Anyway, 4D Medical signs Philips reseller agreement for the US market. This is sort of exciting. I probably wouldn't be excited enough to buy shares on the back of this particular announcement. It's not my main callus or trigger to buy shares, but it's an exciting announcement for the company. Now, there's a possibility, just a possibility, I'm just throwing it out there. And when you see an announcement like this, you think, oh, there's a bull case and a bear case. And I was just thinking the bear case that this particular agreement might benefit Philips a lot, and maybe it doesn't benefit 4D Medical as much as you would like. The reason I say that this is because well over 10 years ago, there was a company called OBJ who announced a deal or partnership with Procter & Gamble. And I can't look at the chart because the company is no longer with us. It went bankrupt, changed its name to something, and then went bankrupt. And I still remember there was a bit of excitement. This small Australian company is doing a deal with Procter & Gamble. And the share price rallied for that day and the next day. And that was the share price high, all-time share price high for the company. Share price just fell off a cliff after that. And when you look at the announcements released after that, in regards to this particular agreement, it didn't beneficial OBJ at all. They took all the risk, and if it was successful, Procter & Gamble got a little bit of money out of it, but it was small. It was Procter & Gamble huge. So this particular agreement was just a small little drop in the big ocean that is Procter & Gamble. While for OBJ, it was the whole company. Anyway, I'm not saying it's similar than this, but maybe, and we just don't know how successful this technology is going to be. So respiratory imaging technology. Now, in saying that, this could be really big. This could be big. So you have the bear case, which I just mentioned. There's also the bull case that this could be company making for 4D Medical. My other concern would be that Philips, if they see it, the sales languishing a bit, they could just pull back on this, try to sell. So they don't have as much skin in the game when it comes to selling the products. That's probably the other concern I would have. So there is a pretty big addressable market. They're pretty sure they mentioned it here somewhere. Yeah, pretty big addressable market. It is also worth noting that the VA annual healthcare budget is on that's the budget. Outside the VA, the market opportunity they sort of do have a bit of a addressable market here, reporting an estimate of 10.9 million thoracic CT scans performed in 2019 on approximately 14,500 scanners. So definitely a company I am following, not completely, but absolutely every day. But I'm following this company, and let's have a look at the chart. And there has been excitement in this company in the past, and a lot of these exciting announcements were in regards to sort of deals done with universities in America. I can't remember exactly what those deals were. So you can see the excitement back in late last, actually, sort of April 2023, and a bit of excitement in November. And those exciting times don't last very long. And then the share price pulls back. And now the share price has run up again. A pretty big volume. So this is, the interesting chart, but you can see these announcements the company has been releasing hasn't really been the catalyst for a long-term bull run in the share price. That's what I'm looking for. That's probably the best way to say it. These sort of announcements aren't the sort of announcements that will lead to a long-term bull run in the share price. A lot of times it's just a short-term run. Now, whether today's announcement is going to be similar than those other announcements back last year remains to be seen. But I'm a little bit skeptical about that. Anyway, so that's 4D Medical coming in at number 2. Would I call this a breakout, by the way? Yes. Well, no, I'm not calling this a breakout by my definitions, because the true breakout by my definitions is a solid or good financial announcement. So a profit upgrade, better than expected training update, that sort of thing. So not necessarily in this sort of announcement is not necessarily down that path. Also look at higher volume, higher than normal volume, and also looking at least a 3-month high. I do prefer a 6-month high. So we do have a few things going for it. Really big volume coming through today, at least a 3-month high, but not necessarily the announcement I am looking for it to be a breakout. And I could envisage the share price going significantly higher than it is now, 65 cents, or I could see the share price pulling back like we saw back last year. Okay, so let's have a look at the top stock of the day, which is a few companies, but we'll start off with A2 Milk. These all have a Chinese theme. But first, we'll have a look at this particular comment from David Reyes. On A2 and the negative attitude to its future, Fonterra has just had its second best year since 2001. So if you think A2 Milk is in the garbage, people, you might want to look again. And the great thing about the market is we have all these different opinions and different thoughts that could lead us down to have completely opposite opinion of a company. And I'm not saying David Reyes is right or wrong. I think some of what he's saying here is absolutely right, but some of it may be a little bit wrong. And the reason I say that is A2 Milk does have, particularly if they continue to be completely focused on China, there is some headwinds for them in China. Increased competition. So when they became really big in China was a time, or just after the time, where there was the baby milk infant formula, whatever you call it, bit of a scare over there. I think some babies either died or they were sick because of that. But Chinese people tend towards, they're more, it's just like Australia, made in Australia. We see that symbol. Oh, we want to help Australian companies. Americans do the same. All countries do the same. So Chinese people also do the same. They will try to help out the Chinese companies. So there is that also, that bit of increased competition. Chinese birth rates are going down as well. That is a problem as well. I just would like to see A2 Milk diversify a little bit more. Now, they are in the United States, but They were going or trying to get into UK as well. They pulled that plug. I'd just like to see a little bit more diversification, sort of like what Treasury Wines is doing. But yeah, a good comment from David Race. Now, the other thing I should mention, A2 Milk, share price up 8.7%. And they went into a trading halt. And I thought, is this an ASX price query? Which is interesting because, to be honest with you, we know sort of why the share price of A2 Milk is rallying. And I thought, this is just going to be a response to that, but it's not. In fact, they've mentioned here it is a price query. So the reason for the trading halt to provide us with additional time to respond to ASX price query received this morning because the share price has rallied, and to inform the market regarding a potential acquisition by us. So there is a chance that A2 Milk had this acquisition all lined up, and they're fearing, maybe not fearing is the right word, but there is a possibility they're suspecting that the reason share price rallied is because word of this acquisition got out there somewhere. Maybe some insider, was buying some shares on the side. Maybe not like a director or something, but someone who had knowledge of this potential acquisition was buying shares. But I think the majority of the share price rise in A2 Milk was because of China. A2 Milk was up. Treasury Wines up big. EZZ Life Sciences up big. Iron ore companies up big. So maybe not just related to A2 Milk and this particular acquisition. Just notice also the indicated price is down. Maybe the market is a little bit nervous that there might be capital raising done with it. Well, I don't know why, because A2 Milk does have a fair bit of cash. Okay, so let's have a look at the chart for A2 Milk. And, share price was up as high as 680 this morning. And a little bit of volatility. The results they released in August were not that good. Market didn't like it. Share price was dropping. And then the last 4 trading days, the share price has really rallied. And I think some of that rally is on the back of China, or what's happening in China, and stimulus. But will that significantly help A2 Milk in the future? By the way, the other comment about Fonterra, I just don't know anything about that. So I can't really comment on their second best year since 2001. But I do question, if it's the second best year in 2001, what's been happening in between? It's not much of a quality company if it's taken them 24 years to have their second best year. Anyway, so that's a chart for Fonterra. Cancel. I don't want to leave the chart. The other 2 charts I just want to look at is Treasury Wines. Share price actually looked pretty ugly before today. Share price has rallied 7.41%. So nothing to like in this particular chart. No trend, share price up and down. And that's probably why I haven't looked at this chart for a while, because there's nothing to look at. On the flip side, EZZ, there is definitely something to look at here. And this company, and probably my only complaint about EZZ Life Sciences, is I wouldn't say over-reliance on China, but they are really focused on the Chinese market. And the share price is up 5.85%. So we have seen a little bit of selling today with EZZ. So share price was above 420. Now it's actually below 4. In fact, if we have a look at the 1-minute chart, so the selling has really come in the last hour or so. Share price has really pulled back in the last hour. Share price as high as 429. You're going to see that when a company has a chart like this. You'll have a look at the daily chart. Share price has been on a beautiful run. Anyway, another thing, EZZ does remind me of A2 Milk. I would classify both companies as marketing companies. So EZZ Life Science has really high gross margins. So a lot of their money they make, their gross profit they make, goes into marketing. That's why I would refer to this company as a marketing company. Similar with A2 Milk when they were really hot, like 5-6 years ago. They were more of a marketing company than anything else. Anyway, and funny enough, EZZ Life Sciences products I would never use, but I am not their market, of course. And there might be a few other mining companies, or not mining companies. There might be a few other Chinese. What's the word? What's a good word here? Chinese themed companies that I have not had a look at that could have had a pretty good day. So if I've missed one, just leave that in the comment field, the comment section, and I might have a look at that chart later, maybe next week, or maybe on Saturday. I have no idea. Okay, so let's have a look at some charts. I'm going to have a look at a company called AZ Horizon. So I'm sort of dabbling with looking at 1 hourly charts, just dabbling. Really haven't found anything I like. So I'm looking dabbling with 1 hour, 2 hour charts, 3 hour charts. But then I came across Aurizon, and I was going through my portfolio, just having a look at the 1 hour charts. Then I came to Aurizon, and I bought because share price of Aurizon fell into this purple box, which is a long-term support zone for this company. And share price was going above the box, then back into the box, above the box, back into the box, then went above the box again. And then I had a look at the 1 hour chart. And I went, ooh, this is starting to look interesting. Just based off the 1 hourly chart, share price is moving into an uptrend. And lo and behold, today, share price has increased. Well, it's not a lot. It's increased by 1%. But even the daily chart is starting to look a little bit better as well. I'm not sure when I'll take profits with this one. I get a nice dividend yield, but in the end, what I want with this trade is a nice dividend yield or dividend plus really good capital growth. That's how we can make money out of these companies that don't move much over time. You just maybe not swing trade them, but you just trade when they become good value, get the dividend, and then sell when they might be overvalued. I don't think the company will get back up to $6. If it did, I would love that. And it might take a little bit of time, but definitely above $4 is my aim when it comes to Aurizon. And if it gets above $4, we're talking about at least a 20% capital gain, which I would take, particularly if I get a dividend in the interim. So it's Aurizon, AZJ. Another company I mentioned a few days ago was Internal Diagnostics, and have a look at the daily chart. So this is a really interesting one. So I mentioned this one because the share price broke out above what was it, $2.70, which was resistance level of this company. And this is the beautiful breakout. So share price broke out on the Monday. Some nice volume coming in. Share price remained above that breakout level the next day. Nice little rise on the Wednesday session, up 2.17%. But then yesterday, share price rallied another 5%. And in fact, today, share price is up a little bit as well. This is a beautiful looking chart for Integral Diagnostics. I probably got a little bit ahead of myself buying some shares before it broke out, and then I had to remain patient, and it took 3 months for it to break out. And that has happened before. I've had to use all my patience with these sort of setups because you could just trade the breakout, which probably what I should have done, but I just decided to get it in ahead of the breakout. Vulcan Energy. This is an interesting one. I think this is breaking out as well. I've got this bit of a downtrend line, this dashed line, definitely the downtrend there. You can see every single time the share price hit this downtrend line, it fell away until Tuesday. Actually, no, it was actually Wednesday. So on Tuesday, the share price was right on that downtrend line. And then the next day, share price took off. And its share price has continued to climb after that on pretty good volume. So this is sort of a case of the share price breaking out of a downtrend on, pretty like, I wouldn't say V-shaped recovery, but it's definitely accelerating upwards. So it's a Vulcan Energy, nice looking chart, breakout there. And finally, PayPal. This was my first American holding, and then I'm trading it as well. So I bought some more at 66.40 6 months ago, and finally, and I bought here again, just like Integral Diagnostics, whatever it's called, on the thought that the trend is starting to shift. And I had to remain patient with this one as well, because you can see the share price did nothing for about 6 months, and you can see what's happening now. PayPal is definitely taking off. That's without doubt. PayPal moving into an uptrend. The other one was Alibaba. I forgot to mention this in the Chinese part of the business, the top stocks of the day. And this one's another one that's really taken off. Just exploded, massive volume coming in. And I would say look at that. So long-term downtrend, and finally the share price is taken off. I was thinking of buying some shares in this company not that long ago, probably about 3 or 4 months ago, and I sort of wish I did that now because, yeah, look at that. Wouldn't be surprised to see share price pull back because the share price has gone exponential, and whenever I see share price go exponential like this, I always expect a pullback. I'm trying to remember a time it hasn't pulled back a share price always pulls back in these sort of situations because share prices increase so rapidly that a lot of investors just need to take profits. And then eventually so many of those investors need to take profits, share price pulls back. Now, the volume today has been quite extreme, or last night was quite extreme. So that could help Alibaba. And I will not be surprised if the share price rallies again because of what happened on the Chinese markets, although maybe this was preempting that. Okay, now let's have a look at some of your comments. So I've already talked to, or did David Races. See the world with us. Can you also talk about Revasum that has already been delisted? Yes, from ASX. I had a big hold on that company, but it's now delisted. Will RVS or Revasum be back on the ASX in the future? I would say no. I actually did have a small holding in this. So I've held probably 5 companies that have gone bankrupt in the past. You've got to push it aside. It can happen. Now, it's going to happen to me less in the future because I've moved away from investing in story stocks, and Revasum was a story stock. So they did have their hand in the semiconductor pipeline. I forget exactly what they're doing, but they were trying to develop these machines to help the semiconductor businesses. But things have gone pear-shaped for the company. It's no longer listed. It's been delisted because I forget why. Revasum, and in fact, they still have the announcements here, it looks like. Removal from official list, annual listing fees. So they weren't paying their listing fees. So obviously, now I have heard, and so they were doing or going through this strategic process and financing. I have heard, but I can't confirm it because this could be just rumors, and this was just from one source, that the main debtor to Revasum decided that they just wanted to sell their IP and their technology to get a little bit of money. So that's the latest I've heard, that the main debtor went, no, we just want to get a little bit of money out of this company. We're going to sell your technology and that's it. The person who said that said they spoke to the CEO. So it doesn't mean that's absolutely true. Maybe they're making it up, but more than likely that's what's happened. And if that's happened, we're going to see Revasum no more. And yeah, in fact, Revasum, I'm just going to Google Revasum. News. The latest news, we're talking about January 2023. So no real big news. Funny enough, 6 ASX stocks at risk of delisting in the next 12 months. Yep. Anyway, that's disappointing. Revasum, as a small shareholder, no longer around, and more than likely won't be around ever again. Sorry, see the world with us. Say Something says, thanks for your response on Lend-Lease. You're spot on about Star Entertainment as well. We can expect a sharp sell-off. Yes, we've definitely seen that. A little bit more than I expected, though. The million-dollar question will be, will Mr. Matheson increase his ownership up to 20% since he has received regulatory approval? Don't see another private equity firm napping on Star like Blackstone did with Crown Resorts in 2022. I think private equity firms are on a shopping spree with Affinity Equity Partners acquiring Loomis from Helios. I actually did not even think about this. I think there is a potential that, yeah, Star will be gobbled up because if I was, say, private equity, I'd be looking at their assets and going, ooh, some good assets. Maybe right now is the bottom of the gambling cycle, and maybe good times are in store in the future for Star Entertainment Group. Maybe now is the time to buy. So thank you for that. Say Something Soothing. You have given me something else to think about. And Jeremy Campbell, love your work, mate. Can you please look at TMG? Here's one I don't know anything about. TMG. I've got to get rid of that first. Trigg Minerals. So I have heard the name. I know nothing about this company. Are they in trading halt? Are they? Yes. Trading halt. Why is this company in a trading halt? Now, the indicator price is not down, which means there's not necessarily anything negative about this. And it's an acquisition, a proposed acquisition. There you go. I have no idea what the acquisition is. What does this company explore for? Antimony looks like, maybe some gold as well. Gold, antimony. So last thing I'm going to look at is the chart. So until I know what they're acquiring, it could be the best acquisition in history. Just don't know. It could be the worst acquisition in history anyway. 2 as well. TMG. Ooh, okay. Chart looks pretty good. I am not going to complain about this chart. Definitely the sentiment in this company has shifted from negative to positive, and it's been a fairly quick shift. Started to shift. You can see this spike in volume on the 12th of June when the share price was below 1 cent. So I wouldn't have paid attention to that spike. And as some say, volume precedes price action, and we saw the spike in volume. Some got excited, and we saw some little spikes in volume after that. And then the share price took off. And I'd say the big takeoff was the 5th of September. Not that long ago, by the way. What did they release on the 5th of September? Trigg to explore antimony potential at Drummond project. And again, there is a bit of excitement in the antimony area. And that's probably one of the reasons why Trigg Minerals is running hot. But right now, they're in trading hot because of a proposed acquisition. And the other thing is, what is the market cap on this company? It's only 15.9 million. It is a small one, but a lot of interest in this company. Okay. And that's all I know about Trigg. That's all I know. Thank you, Jeremy Campbell. Hopefully you're a shareholder of the company because you've probably done pretty well. Austal down. I'm pretty sure it's Austal. Pretty sure there's no R. Austal, yeah. And Austal was down. Why is it down? I'm pretty sure you're going to say why it's down. Austal down 5%. Korean conglomerate Hanwha has formally abandoned its pursuit of Austal, the only ASX-listed shipbuilder. Okay. Accusing the company of making it impossible to conduct due diligence ahead of a binding takeover bid. Did they say this? They just mentioned the Austal board changes, and I did not read that. Thank you for that information. Let's have a quick look at the chart for Austal. What happened the other day with this company? Share price, did it take off? Yeah, it took off. Yes, and now the share price has pulled back. And I think there was some sort of shipbuilding deal or something like that. That was not that long ago, but I've forgotten already. And Fantastico seems like he's giving us a definition of what a handle means. A handle is a whole number part of a price quote that is the portion of the quote to the left of the decimal point. For example, if the price quote for the stock is 56.25, the handle is 56, eliminating the value of cents in the quote. Thank you for that. That's great. And James Dean, died in 1955. Corporate travel has bounced off the bottom. New uptrend or upward trend. Let's have a look at corporate travel as a shareholder, possibly. Now, because this is in my long-term portfolio, I don't look at these charts all that often. And it is starting to look more interesting. Possible, I wouldn't say a double bottom, but does look like just there is a nice little support level. The share price has rebounded off there. Probably like to see some bit higher volume. Now, it is in an area of resistance. And if you just have a look at, where is it? Just have a look at this sort of zone here. Quite a few shareholders bought in that area. And now the share price is back in that zone. So quite a few of those shareholders who bought at high prices want to get out, or in this zone want to get out now. So there should be a little bit of resistance. Now, what I do like is the share price rallied on Tuesday, 3.8%. The next day, there was very little selling. And then it rallied again on Thursday, up 4.74%. Today, very little profit taking. Share price, in fact, is down slightly. That's a good sign. I do like that sort of signal. Share price rally, nothing much happens. Share price rally, nothing much happens. I see this a lot. And this usually is a fairly positive signal. A good example of that is, what's a good example of this? A good example of this might be just Dusk Group. You can see that share price rallied quite violently on the 29th of August, up 19%. And then what happened to the share price for the next almost month? Share price just went sideways. Share price didn't drop much at all. And then the share price on the 25th of September rallied another 8%. And then share price, look what it's doing after that. It's just going sideways. I see this signal a lot. Share price rallies, go sideways. You want this consolidation period. It's very healthy. And Dust Group is showing that. So that's what's happening, possibly what's happening with CTD or corporate travel management right now. I would prefer the consolidation period to be a little bit longer. The reason I'd like it to be a little bit longer is it gives all those shareholders who want to sell time to sell. And then you just get a refresh of the share registry, and it's actually good moving forward. And Chris Brown, you have quoted me again for my KMD comments, KMD Brands comments. You must think I am some sort of stock guru on the company. The results presentation will be best described as aspirational. I'm done. I'm not going to mention KMD Brands anymore. And I wouldn't say, or just say you're a stock guru, but you just mentioned a few times. And I'm trying to go through all the comments. Anyway, that's all I have for this particular video. If you have any questions, any thoughts, leave those in the comment section of this video. Otherwise, I'm not a financial advisor. If you do need financial advice, make sure you seek out someone who is qualified and can speak to your own financial needs. That's it for this video. Have a good day. Bye.